I found out about the Fatherless Generation Foundation through a couple sources. At the time, I was looking for an attorney to help me pursue an order for parental rights and legitimization. So I reached out to Kimberly Dent. She's family and basically an auntie to me. She serves as the executive director on the Ohio Commission on Fatherhood. So I figured she'd have a lot of knowledge and experience on the subject, and possibly even like colleagues in the field that may be able to help me out. So after I contacted her, she reached out to her colleagues Kenneth Braswell and Lamont Jones, who both work in support of fathers in the Atlanta area. And they immediately put me in contact with Dr. Torrey. So the situation I was in at the time was my son's mother and I lived together for a few years at my last duty station in Texas. The fall of 2016, we mutually decided to end our relationship and that it would be best for us to co-parent Austin. The spring of 2017, we agreed that Atlanta would be a good place to co-parent Austin. At the time, I was in the process of transitioning out of the Army, and she was a stay-at-home mom with 3-year-old Austin, so I felt it would be best for Austin if I took care of them throughout their move to Atlanta and until she could find a job. I agreed to pay her rent for a year and cover other expenses until she was able to, which meant that I would be supporting 2 households, hers with Austin in Atlanta and mine in Texas. Everything was fine after their initial move to Georgia. Whenever I was able to, I would drive to Atlanta from Texas. I visited Austin without any issues. We communicated and we co-parented. But the fall of 2017, something changed. I drove back from Texas the 14 hours to Atlanta for a weekend visit, and she told me that I couldn't dictate when or how I could see my son because they might have something planned. I just found that puzzling because I had not demanded to spend any unreasonable amount of time with Austin. I lived in Texas, so I couldn't see him every day or much at all at the time, nor had I changed the way that I supported them financially. So once she started to control when and how long I could spend time with Austin, I realized that there was nothing I could do about it because I didn't have any legal parental rights. That's at that point I knew I needed to pursue earning legal parental rights on my own. When I say I moved them to Georgia and financially supported 2 households, that means I paid for their move from Texas to Georgia. I paid for their apartment in the Atlanta area. I paid for the car note and insurance because that's what she was driving Austin around in every day. I provided extra money monthly so she could take care of Austin's everyday needs until she found a job and was able to do those things herself. I still had bills and my overall living expenses to pay for in Texas, so I stretched my income to support both. Once she had a job, I continued to pay the apartment rent for the rest of the year so she could save money. Because the reality is, she's been a stay-at-home mom, taking care of Austin, while we were together. So, I felt like that would help her put them in a good situation. At the end of the day, she was taking care of our son like on a daily basis. So I felt like it was the right thing to do in order to support him. I understood if she was good, then he was good. So that's what it was all about. So I discovered that as a father, I didn't have any legal parental rights early. Once Austin was born in Texas, I established paternity by signing the acknowledgement of paternity affidavit. Doing so in Texas doesn't give you legal parental rights when you're unwed, which we were at the time. It just acknowledges you as the father. But in Georgia, that paternity affidavit was not recognized by the court at all. In order to be recognized as Austin's father in Georgia, I had to file for legitimization and to get parental rights. I had to file for parental rights and a parenting time order. Originally, we agreed that I would establish parental rights when I got settled in Georgia, but once it became apparent she wasn't going to honor that agreement, I was forced to pursue it on my own. Going through mediation without a lawyer was a horrible experience. It was extremely challenging because in the first few months of mediation, I did not accurately portray the situation or properly defend myself at the time. One of the bad things that stand out about mediation at the time was while she was working with her lawyer, they were able to secure a temporary order for me to pay child support based on my income from when I was in the Army months prior. At the time, I had completely transitioned out of the Army, so my income was significantly lower. Overall, I mean, that was one of many things that went wrong when I did mediation on my own, but it was a dire situation, and had I continued to try to mediate without a lawyer, I would not have been able to secure legal parental rights of my son. Once we were able to get attorney Terry Herron involved, everything changed. She's an amazing attorney who's very experienced and fought ferociously on my behalf. With attorney Herron leading the charge, she was able to establish my legal parental rights and much more. I'm forever grateful to attorney Herron and Dr. Torrey for the support they provided throughout the process. The end result with my established parental rights are that we share joint legal custody, while Austin's mom has primary physical custody of our son. This means he lives with her, and I have established parenting time with Austin every first, third, and if there are fifth weekends in a month, monthly. Once he's released from school and until he goes to school like the next week. I pick him up from school and I drop him off at school as well. But if school isn't in place, we have an established time and link up point. Holiday parenting time and summer parenting time is split between the two of us as it's established in the order. So Austin and I get plenty of time together throughout the year. Child support was established based on my income at the time, not my previous income while I was in the Army. There were also clauses added to the order, but one that was pretty fair to both parents was that if one parent moved more than 50 miles away from the other parent's home, the moving parent would be responsible for pickup and delivery costs. So that I thought that was pretty good. But in the end, my intention wasn't to take my son away from his mother. The main reason I pursued legal parental rights was just to protect the time Austin and I had to spend together, so that it can be predictable and constant. It's not Austin's fault. The relationship between his mother and I did not work out, so I did everything in my power to fight to preserve time we have to spend together. I had a very strong relationship with my father growing up. My parents had me early, so they both made some sacrifices. My father joined the Army and did everything he could to provide for our family. He has been a large influence on me to this day, so the values and principles instilled by my parents directly contribute to me as a father now. It's part of why I did everything in my power to support Austin and his mom after we were separated, and why I fought so hard. Now that we've gone through this situation, life is great. It's just been a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. Just knowing that Austin and I will have frequent and predictable time together. We take full advantage of it. From the times where he's not with me, I try to FaceTime every day. He some days his cue that he doesn't want to talk is he'll hop on and say, "Hi, Daddy, love you, miss you, talk to you soon," and he wants to go do what he's gonna do. I told him the same thing and let him go. Or times where he's a little more chatty, and he'll have me on the phone while he's doing whatever he's doing in his mother's house. He's 6, so there's no telling how he's gonna respond at the time. And to the times that we're together, to be able to establish memories like movie night or going to the park, and running, and just being able to have a valuable time together. I owe it a large piece of that to the Fatherless Generation Foundation, and I'm truly thankful and forever grateful.